Hello everyone, I'm Tim from Tim's PC and I build custom PCs to suit anyone's needs or budget. Also live stream my builds and repairs for transparency and educational purposes. So if you'd like to get an awesome new PC and you'd like to see it put together live, send me a message today. Alright, so tonight we're going to be building an all dark PC. So there'll be a little bit of light just on the cooler block there, and there'll probably be a little bit of lighting there on the graphics card as well, but none of our fans have any light. There's no like added RGB as such to this build. So
black pre-installed fans on it.
Yeah, pre-installed black fans on the all-in-one liquid cooler. No RGB on the RAM. It's all dark. It's all business. So if you're a fan of all black PCs, especially ones with RTX 4090 graphics, then tonight is definitely for you. So let's get stuck right into it. So for our CPU, we've got the i7 13700f 16-core 24-thread CPU. We've got a 32GB kit of DDR5 RAM. This is 6400 MHz CL36 memory. We've got a 1TB Gen 4 NVMe SSD and a 2TB Gen 3 NVMe SSD. That is a Crucial P5 Plus and a Crucial P3. We've got the Gigabyte RTX 4090. So this is the is this the gaming X, or I can't remember which one this was. This is the gaming OC. Sorry, get the model right. There's the Eagle, and it comes in a very similar sized box, and I always get those two mixed up, the Eagle and the gaming OC. So we've got a 1250 watt Cooler Master power supply. This is one of their new ones, the MWE V2, which comes with the ATX 3 connector. So that's the 12 plus 4 pin connector that we use on the 4090. And we're going to be putting an LT720 on our motherboard there, the B760 Gaming XAX, to keep our CPU nice and cool. So happy days. And we're going to be putting it all in the Antec, what do they call this one again? The P20. I always feel wrong saying that because it's pretty much the same. It's the same sort of chassis that they use for or a very similar chassis to what they use for the Deflux series. So I want to say that I want to call it a Deflux case, but it's not. It's actually the P20. So it's quite nice. It comes with the this panel on the front there, so you can just sort of unhook that. It's like a bit like the Corsair ones, sort of unclips like that. It's very nice. Yeah.
The dessert, it's buck. Get it?
Christine's showing me silly jokes. Alright, well, let's get stuck right into it. Alrighty, so this is a nice motherboard. Why don't we have a closer look at this motherboard?
Oh, I just zoomed in, so you're going to have to like...
That's alright.
Not stand behind it. Oh no, that'll work.
There we go. You can get a pretty clear look at it from here. We'll go around the board here from the top. So just 8 pins of CPU power there, which is plenty. It delivers over 200 watts. We've got nice direct touch heat sinks there on our MOSFET VRM co-processors there. Obviously our LGA 1700 socket there. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No sneaky seventh. 6 PWM headers. 1, 2, 3, 4 RGB headers. Got a couple of other ones down the bottom there as well. Dual channel memory there, so 4 slots, 2 channels. We've got USB-C, USB 3, 4 SATA ports there, horizontally orientated. Down the bottom you got 2 USB 2s, TPM, COM port, front panel audio. We've got triple M2 slots here, so 1, 2, 3. Our PCIe X16 slot here, and these 2 slots here are just X1 slots. So just be aware that they're not X4, they're X1. A lot of motherboards will have X4 slots down the bottom there. These are only X1, so just FYI. And then around the back here, we've got pretty good rear I/O. So we've got a total of 8 USB ports, including 1 Type-C, and 4 USB 2s and 4 that are USB 3.2 and above. We've also got 2.5 gigabit LAN, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.1 and surround audio. And that is the Gigabyte B760 gaming, the gaming XAX.
Oh shit!
Nearly tripped over there.
Try to flip the camera a little bit.
Sorry about that.
Never trust me to fix it properly. Good enough.
Alright, so let's
Looks like
get
the cabinet
stuck
behind you.
right into it. So the i7 13700F, it's an excellent CPU, so you won't have any problems with this one.
So,
Yeah.
John says g'day to my best.
Hey John, how you going? Good to have you with us. So 13700F does come with the stock cooler. However, I would never recommend you use an Intel 13th Gen i7 with just a stock cooler. I'd always recommend putting a better cooler on it. You'll get better performance for it, especially if you want to use it for like video editing and rendering and stuff like that. When it's under load, it'll go better with the cooler on it, even if it does come with an included cooler. Don't assume that they're all created equally. So just FYI there. Alright, so we're chucking our nice fast RAM. So like I said, this stuff here is 6400 megahertz CL36 memory. So quite snappy memory. Anything over 6000 is pretty fast for DDR5. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll use the 2 slots that are underneath where the graphics card's going to go. So we'll leave this top slot here free, so if Josh wants to add another M2 SSD, he doesn't have to take the whole graphics card out just to get to the available slot. Okay. So we got our P3, that's our 2 terabyte one, and we've got our P5 here as well. So there we've got our two NVMe SSDs installed down there. And so if you're thinking, I don't know the brand Crucial, I only know Samsung. So there are basically 4 companies plus Intel also, I guess, technically make the stuff as well.
I'm just trying to fix the camera again. I can never fix it properly.
I'll fix it. There we go. That'll do.
Slowly.
What's that?
Oh, it's just slowly moving. It'll stop. It'll get to a point and just stop. I think so.
Why is it doing that? That's really strange.
Uh-oh.
They're coming.
I'm gonna take you away. Fucked up the camera, tell him to come and take you away. Daniel says ghosts.
Ghosts? Yeah, something like that. Okay, let's move on. So we got our 3 high static pressure fans, we've got our pump and radiator, got our mounting kit. We have this big box that it comes in.
We go through so much cardboard.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so we've got our Intel backplate, so that needs to be snapped into the larger position there, and then that can go through the holes in our motherboard. And then we need these feet here with the grooves on them. So one lot of the feet are for LGA 1700 and the other ones are for the other older style of Intel socket. And you don't want to get them mixed up because you don't want to end up like not mounting your cooler correctly, because the other ones are slightly taller than the other ones. So if you get it mixed up and you get it the wrong way around, you'll tighten up the bolts, but the actual block won't be making contact with the CPU. So your CPU will just go straight to like 100C. And you'll be like, oh, why isn't my cooler working? And you'll think that there's something wrong with your cooler, and you might even take it back to where you bought it from, and then they're just going to look at you and laugh and be like, yeah, no. One cool thing I just noticed is these are magnetic. Babe, it's magnetic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The answers. Oh.
So it holds it there.
Very good.
Only this style does it. The other deep cool ones don't have that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I like that.
Finding new things to like about it.
Mm-hmm. That's always good. Now that magnet's starting to fuck with me.
It's working against you.
Yes. It's my own fault though. Okay, and basically it's going to sit like this in the case, so we want the fan cables down this end of the radiator.
Daniel says the road to hell is paved with good intentions, or in this case, good magnets. I like that.
Nah, it's all good. I just dropped the bolt in the wrong spot.
Poor small. See what I mean about the cables? Don't be
I know. Fortunately, we've got 3 fans pre-installed in our case here, so we don't have to screw in quite as many as a Leon Lee build. So normally when we do a 4090, it's in a Leon Lee case, usually. Okay, so that's all ready to go in our case. We can turn our attention now to the case and the power supply. So the power supply here, we've got one of these bracket things where you slide the power supply in like that. So just be aware if you are going to be building in this case for the first time, especially if you're using a longer depth PSU like this one. The other thing you might have to check behind the back panel there is the position of the hard drive tray there. So I think we're going to have to move this along to accommodate our longer power supply. So we've got 2 bolts to remove here on the bottom. That's better. So yeah, definitely make sure you check the position of the drive tray. Give yourself a bit of extra room down there if you've got a longer power supply, because you're going to need it. Oh, look at this. We get a right angle power cable for the 12 plus 4 pin, babe.
Sorry? Oh.
We got a right angle connector for it. How good's that?
Very nice. He says, can't stay for this one, but we love the parts and model the G49 AC stock power from 49 master location. So I can't stay and watch. I can still see the building, come back later to it, enjoy the building.
Yeah, feel free to watch back at any stage. They don't go anywhere. So graphics card, motherboard, CPU, and I'll just install a single SATA just so there's a SATA. We don't actually have any devices that are going to be using SATA power for this build. So how's that? Here we go. Got a little bag for you since Cooler Master didn't include one. I'll try to get all the cat air off it for you.
Jeez. Kind of wants to, it makes me want to get a lotto ticket with 910 million for grabs at the moment. Because nobody's won it big in a few months.
Oh, in America? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Ours doesn't get that big.
Seamlessly.
There we go. Power on, eh? Alright, so we'll chuck this triple splitter on our fans.
Pull it towards yourself a bit. No, I meant the case.
You meant the case.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Oh look, we actually get a built-in graphics card support holder with this case. That's one little feature that they have on this case that they don't have in the Deflux. But yeah, we may or may not be able to use that because our graphics card is massive.
She says this would be an expensive build.
Yeah, this one was fairly expensive. It wasn't it could have been more expensive. Alright. A little bit of stuffing around there. Be good when we have the roof cam. We put this one more bolt in and then we'll lift it back up and we'll plug everything else in. Where is the cat?
He's over here.
He's over here.
His cat stand.
Fluffy Meow.
Yeah.
Still got his cone of shame.
Oh, he's going to be wearing that for a while yet.
Oh, you heard it here first. He's going to be wearing it for a while.
Yep, fluffy butt dude. Yeah, it's not too fluffy at the moment. stress, and he's meant
from the litter of puppies and him licking himself too much. So he had to get a cone of shame.
Mm-hmm.
Protecting himself from himself, basically.
Someone called him Pixar Lamp the other week, and yes, he does look like a Pixar lamp.
Very much like a Pixar lamp.
And Josh says should have done the RGB fans, to be honest.
Nah, it's gonna look the goods, man. Trust me. There's something that's really nice about the minimalist, and the thing is, this model of the cooler here without the RGB fans on, that's the performance model. That model is it's a slightly more powerful pump on it compared to the other one. So if you're after absolute maximum performance, you've got the cooler with the max performance. If we went the one with the RGB fans, it would actually be a lower performing cooler. But would it make much of a difference to you? Probably not. But it is something to consider.
Right. Daniel says looks like I could use one on the machine.
Yep.
It says here's the star of the show. Blue and Paul says great for you, cat. Yeah. Oh, he knows which hand you want to look at. All cats.
Okay. So now it's time to get this massive graphics card box opened up. Boom, boom. It's bigger than a brick.
So Josh says, when I said no overkill with the RGB, I was meaning not extra line, but glad there is some benefits to it.
Yeah, definitely. Like, there is a little bit of RGB on this, don't get me wrong.
It's got that mirrored thing going on.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty cool. Need to take another one out? No? Which one?
I have to take the sag bracket out completely because this card is too big.
You know what's funny? They probably put it in there for the 40 series.
Probably.
It doesn't even fit. That's funny.
Well, it doesn't fit on this particular card. At least it's not completely covered in, you know what.
Daniel says, holy fat GP puppy. Indeed. And Josh says, really dig the black case though. Yeah, this one's really quite fancy. I like this one.
Yeah, we got you like the nicest black case that we could.
It's got a little bit of a gold strip going on in front, like a metallic gold.
Yeah, around there.
And it's got like a mesh grey charcoal kind of look to it. It's nice. Josh says more shiny in the ribs and rises looks the ribs. Indeed.
So yeah, and we've got this power supply has a 90-degree connector. How good is that? So we don't have to either hang out for the cable extenders because they've been out of stock and hard to get a hold of. I haven't been able to get any for customs builds. And we've had to like bend the freaking cables like on a... I can do it, and I can do it in a way that doesn't damage the cables. I'm more than happy to do that, but it is a little bit annoying. I would much rather have this nice 90-degree cable there that just sort of, you know, just sort of sits in there at the top. Keeps it nice and clean. But yeah, so I installed, we don't have any SATA devices or SATA powered devices, but I have put one SATA power cable in there from the power supply. So if you do want to add a hard drive or a SATA SSD or any other random piece of technology that like we haven't thought of, yeah, you can add that no problems because there's the SATA power cable coming from the power supply. Yeah, I know. It's the end of the week. I'm getting tired. Tomorrow, I'm getting up.
We have to get up really early.
Paintball tomorrow.
Yes, with some old friends, which shall be fun.
Yes, how cool will that be? Hell yeah. So yeah, the lighting on this is on the graphics card and on the cooler block. So it's not like there won't be any lighting at all. But yes, we didn't spend any money on we didn't spend any extra money on lighting or anything like that. We spent all of our money on extra performance. You know, we got the slightly faster RAM. We got the cooler with the better pump. We got the RTX 4090. We got the 13 series Intel chip, not the 12 series Intel chip. They're both awesome products. They're both up to date and stuff like that. The 13 is just a little bit more expensive and just a little bit more performance. So it's like, it sort of makes sense like that. Do we have a BIOS for this one, babe?
Probably not. You will.
Power on.
Blue one says that 4090 is bigger than a housing brick.
Yeah, it is. It literally is bigger than a housing brick. I just, yeah. It's nearly as thick as two, like, you know, like a paver brick that you'd use like around the lip of a pool or something like that. It's nearly two of them thick. It's ridiculous.
Josh says, but February had a big week. Yeah.
Yes.
Daniel says, does that big boy need any SAG control? Is it good to just chill there like that?
It can just stay there like that. If you do notice any sag, just you can stick an object in there. It did come with this anti-sag bracket, but I might be able to fit it another way into the case and install it there. But yeah, in general, it's graphics card sag is something that people freak out a lot about, but it's not really as big an issue as what they might think. So the sagging usually occurs with this bit of aluminium at the back there that the screws go in. That's the bit that bends. The card just sort of lays down. It's not like your actual graphics card is getting bent. It's not like your motherboard is being bent. It's just a bit of aluminium at the back there. So they try to like make everyone freak out about it, so they spend extra money on stuff, right? They love getting you to consume. So
Brian says to paintball a few times, camera and bruises all over. Enjoy.
I could see I could see that happening to me.
It'll still be fun.
I'm not as fit as I used. I'm not as fit as I used to be. So
Josh says it looks massive. He says, wonder if I should have it in the transport.
what's that?
The Alright.
Oh no! So when I when I ship them off, the internals of the case get packed with foam. So nothing moves around. Nothing moves around inside the case when it's being shipped. So there'll be foam underneath your graphics card. There'll be foam on top of the graphics card. Everything in there will be sort of packed in nicely inside the box. There'll be foam around the PC in the box. It's quite well protected. They have to like pretty much drop it and kick it off the back of a truck to sort of like damage it and break the glass or do any sort of major hassle to it. So it's designed so, you know, people could potentially drop the case and it not be a problem. You know, because that'll happen in shipping sometimes. It'll slip out of someone's hand, it'll drop on the ground. But the way that it gets packed, there's foam all around it, foam on the outside of the box, and then there's foam inside the case, so everything stays well protected and supported in there. I always do that I ship every PC that has a graphics card like that, will get the internals packed with foam. So I always do that specifically because there's a non-zero chance of, due to the vibrations from shipping, that the screws that I've screwed into the graphics card are gonna vibrate and jiggle their way out, and the graphics card's gonna come loose inside the case there, and then the customer's gonna open it up, and they're going to get a case with a loose graphics card rattling around in there. Maybe the slot snapped off the motherboard or something like that. That's what generally happens if you ship them without. Like, it won't happen every single time, obviously, but eventually, if you keep shipping PCs out without foam inside, eventually you'll come across exactly what I just described. So yeah, just FYI. Now, I'm not getting anything on my screen. I think so.
Because it's fine on my end, it's in BIOS.
Yeah, I can see that. There we go, now I can see it on my screen. Okay, BIOS. Did we get an update? Christine forgot. She was going.
There,
she was right there.
Happened. I don't
she was
know
right
what
there.
Happened, but...
She was right there. I just plugged it in.
Ah!
So yes, we'll put the latest version of BIOS on here. I mean, it looks like we've only got version F2, so that would be probably
This is F5.
the second version. Looks
F5.
like we're up to F5 now, so we're up to the 5th version. So that's a bit better. Version 5's better than version 2. So okay. So we'll go over here to Q Flash and
Jocelyn's last sweet ass. We all know what couriers are like though.
yeah.
Anthony says I shipped a PC from Brisbane.
Hang on. Did you put the DDR5 version or DDR4 on here? Yeah, I need DDR5. Sorry.
No.
No. If it doesn't say it on the, if it doesn't say DDR4 or D4 in the title, then it's DDR5. Just to be confusing. I know. I didn't make it. I'm just decoding it for you. Oh, that's 32. CL32, not CL36. It's even snappier. So this number here, 6400, that number, higher, better. These numbers here, lower, better. So basically this one here, the 6400, is the speed. And these ones here are the timings, or also known as the latency. This one at the end, 1.4, that'd be a voltage, I would be guessing. But yeah, the main two you look at is the speed and the latency there.
Well,
Now we've got the right one. What version was it?
The same, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
F5 as well?
Yeah. Tim,
Yeah.
did you hear this one? Anthony shipped a PC from Brisbane to Adelaide and all went swimmingly.
Ah, nice.
Josh says here, why I got you here, but what it is, would you recommend like 32-inch ones, etc. Because I have had a look and there's a lot.
Yep.
You got to look at, say, much the sweet spot.
Well, the thing is,
My
so
opinion.
32 inch, you want to look at a minimum of 1440p monitor at that
IPS
size.
screen as well.
Yeah, decide, probably for your purposes, I would look at an IPS panel screen. That's a flat, nice, evenly lit screen. That's generally best for working and for doing editing and stuff like that on. Curved monitors sometimes don't have the same color range that you can get on some of the others.
No, but they're kind of good for like, say, a driving game and stuff like that.
Yeah, it depends what sort of games that you want to play. I mean, some people have a couple of monitors that are two very different monitors for very different purposes.
Yeah.
One's for
you got
work
one
and
in
one's
like portrait mode
one's for
like
gaming.
stats.
Yes, sometimes one can be in portrait mode. Like there's plenty of different configurations that people use essentially.
Just have a think about like what you do.
Yeah, I mean for your main one, like I said, I would look at, if you're looking at 32 inch, I'd look at minimum 1440p, minimum 144 hertz, and I'd look at probably an IPS panel for my main workstation, and then depending on what sort of games I played and what I liked, maybe I'd consider a curved monitor for gaming. I don't know. Depends what sort of gaming you like. That's why there's so many different monitors, is because everyone's got their own opinion on exactly what good looks like. So yeah, just my advice to you, if you're really confused, okay, you just don't know what you're looking at, maybe go into a retailer that have monitors set up. Like if you want to look at somewhere in Brisbane, there's a company called Computer Alliance at Mount Gravatt. They've got a good range of monitors set up in their stores, like in a retail setting. So you can go and have a look at them, and their pricing at Computer Alliance is competitive with major retailers. So you can solve all your problems by going in there, having a look at the actual screens, having a look and comparing a few different models and stuff like that, and then deciding which one you want to go with, because that is sometimes the best way of dealing with it, because yeah, looking at them online, they all kind of look the same, right? And that's the hardest thing for me is like explaining to people what monitors they should get, because it's a very personal choice. Okay. So we've got our BIOS update here, a few little differences here. You can go and turn on our XMP profile there. And we can change over to Windows.
Still got that good little song there.
Oh, really? All right. Okay. So this is all pretty straightforward setup stuff. I always install and ship Windows 10, and then you can just do Windows 11 update if you want. It requires no technical knowledge. In fact, if you to stay on Windows 10, you'll have to tell it to not update to Windows 11. Okay, so it'll just prompt you to do that automatically. You don't have to do anything. You'll just turn your computer off one day and you'll turn it on again the next day, and it'll have Windows 11 on it. So, or it won't if you tell it, no, I just want to stay on Windows 10. Alright, we can plug in a LAN cable now, because we're at that point of the night.
Jack wants to know how much is this bill? I can't remember.
I think it's around the low fives, low to mid fives. I'd have to look it up for you. I'm doing too many quotes at the moment.
It's tax time at the
Tax
moment.
time at the moment. All the numbers blur together in my head. I'm sorry. I don't have a photographic memory.
Unfortunately. That'd be kind of cool.
Oh man. I remember going to this sales training course, and there was like myself and like 20 of my peers in the room, and this dude came in from interstate to like tell us all how to be like more charismatic and shit like that. And he's like, yeah, I teach myself ways to remember people's names really, really quickly. And he's like, I can remember everyone's name in the room just after you introduce yourself to me, tell me who you are and what you do and just one thing about you. And I'll remember your name, and I'll be able to remember every single person in the room. And he goes around the room and he shakes everyone's hand and asks everyone a question, and then he sits there in the middle of the room, and then just every single name all in a row, no problems, about half an hour after he spoke to everyone. Just randomly brought that up and was just like, oh yeah, and by the way, this is everyone's name. and I was just, and me and a couple of other guys there, we were just like, the fuck, how's this guy even doing this? But yeah, some people's brains are wired differently. And at random moments like that...
Josh says 5,400.
5,400, yeah. Yeah, I thought it was about that. There we go. Yeah, roughly about 50% or more of the total cost is just the graphics card. That's where the bulk of the expense is. That graphics card, the 4090s, very, very expensive. But you'll see why in a second. Okay, so now we got all that going on. We can put some other software on here. So we should have Gigabyte Control Center for this. If the auto installer failed.
terrorist level and was carrying about 3,000 vehicles and it was on fire. Oh shit, 1,000's dead.
What the fuck?
What's wrong?
Getting some weird error from Microsoft Store. Oh, just the USB drivers installing. Alright, just force a restart on me, it's okay. I wasn't doing anything.
Pretty. Don't stop singing! Pretty! I hope they feel embarrassed.
We still got problems with Microsoft Store. I think so. Oh no. Alright, so there's something wrong with Microsoft Store. Can't download anything from Microsoft Store, so I won't be able to do the stress test. But that's okay. We can do the stress test tomorrow, that's fine. This one's being shipped, so I mean, it's Friday night now, so it's not going to matter as long as we ship it out on Monday. Alright, while all that's going on, we've got another drive to configure. There we go. Yeah.
So it's still going to be like a week anyway before I see it.
Yep. Are you going away or something? Yeah, not getting anything from this is, yeah, unfortunately. Got some firmware for our SSDs. Alrighty, everything's all installed, nothing's erroring. Yes. Oh man, that was my first ever Windows install. Windows 3.1. Who remembers Windows 3.1? I remember Windows 3.1. Pedigridge Farm remembers. It's a bit like that. Oh man. Mhm. The kids these days have no idea, eh?
One of the first games I played was Space Quest 3. It came on 3 floppy disks.
Ah, Space Quest 3. It sounds really familiar, man. I feel like I've played it, but I can't quite see it in my head. Yeah. Oh yes, 100%. I'm not sure if I played 3. I've played Space Quest. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Fucking hell, eh? There it is. There's our 4090 driver. But we'll just do this last restart. It should be the last restart really quickly. And then we can run the gaming benchmarks. It's going to make a complete mockery of that. And I'm going to assume we've still got this problem with Microsoft Store. It's not a short-term thing. And it's going to be out for several hours. I would say so. Okay. Set up the statistics we want to see on our on-screen display. You can set this up yourself at home. Download MSI Afterburner and Riva Tuner Statistics Server. They come as the one thing. Just download MSI Afterburner, one installer, and then you can select all this stuff for yourself. Select the value, click show in on-screen display, and click apply. Once it says show in OSD over there, that means it's in the on-screen display. Then all you need to do is select your toggle keys to turn it on. If you don't select the toggle keys, the on-screen display won't function. You also want to come in here and you want to make the text a bit bigger. If not, you'll be squinting to see the statistics. You also want to click show own statistics. That's the FPS counter. So make sure you turn that one on. Now we can go into heaven. So high, no anti-aliasing. So this is going to make a complete mockery of this benchmark because we've got a 4090 in here. But for consistency's sake, we'll run the same ones as we always do. Babe, have you been in here? What's wrong? Okay, so that was Heaven there on high with no anti-aliasing. Next we'll do Valley on Ultra with max anti-aliasing. Small dog. Is there a small dog? Hey? A small dog. They call it a small. Yeah, small. Did you know that? No. Not even breaking a sweat here. Alrighty. So that was Valley there. Valley's a more demanding benchmark, but not really for the 4090. And the final one we do is superposition here at 4K.
Bailey! Outside! Bailey! You're gonna get in trouble. Outside! Come on. You know it. Oh, wait. Bailey.
Outside.
Oh, she peed. Bailey!
She's like sitting on my feet.
Oh, you make me feel really bad, dog. Come on. Oh my god. Bailey! Come on. Oh, she peed. Oh, baby.
Alrighty. Okay. Alright, so look, I've got everything all sorted except for Cinebench there. So, look, since I don't have that going on, alright, so let's have a quick look, I should say, at our CPU. So we got the 13700F, which is pretty much as good as the 13700K, basically the non-overclockable version of the 13700K. And yeah, it's well ahead of basically every other CPU that exists when it comes to gaming. When we compare it to multi-thread performance, we can see it's right up the top here with 13700KF and K, 12900KS, Ryzen 7900X. There's 5900X for comparison, and we can have a look at 32. You can see that it's matching pretty much the Ryzen 9 5950X in terms of its multi-core performance. So it's an absolute weapon of a CPU, and it's about $100 or so cheaper than the K version. So good value. All right. Well, Jesus, how many of these updates are there recently? Like cumulative updates. They're very annoying. Alright, well, might move it back over to full screen, and if anyone's got any other final questions for us before we sign off, now is your chance to speak. And so yeah, I'm not sure if you can't really make it out, but there is RGB in the cooler block there, and there's RGB on the graphics card fans. So yeah, there's you definitely get some RGB. Alright, so now's the point of the night where I throw it over to anyone else who's got any other final questions for me before I sign off. Now is your chance to speak. David says amazing how much people will spend to make the box under the desk look rainbow. Yeah, but having it to play devil's advocate, because RGB has become so popular, economies of scale has meant that basically you can get a fully RGB PC for basically no extra money than what you'd pay for any other PC. Just because the parts are popular, they go up in price and the cost comes down. So yeah, it sort of works a bit like that. It used to be a case of like, you know, you'd spend like hundreds, thousands of dollars more to have it all RGB, but now realistically it's like, you know, the RAM with no RGB is like $10 cheaper than the RAM with RGB. It's like $10 in the grand scheme of things for a computer doesn't really make any difference. So yeah, I mean that's why you see so many PCs with RGB and stuff like that. I just tell people, I'm like, look, you may as well get it, because even if you don't care about it, in 3, 5, 7 years time when you go to sell it and you're trying to sell it to some 15-year-old kid, then they're gonna think of it better because it's got the lighting on it. That's just how people are. So people like flashy things. So if it doesn't cost you any extra to do it, definitely do it. You know what I mean? And David has said, yeah, nice looking rig. Yeah, this one looks awesome. I reckon, honestly, it feels like a Corsair case. You have this nice bit of aluminium here. Painted aluminium. It's like got a sort of like a bit of a metallic, sort of like shiny sort of finish, and then you've got a nice magnetic dust filter that sort of sits in there. The design and the aesthetic is very similar to what you would see in Corsair, with Corsair cases. So I quite like it. You can pick this up for just a little bit over $100. So if you're after a case that's, you know, a little bit more professional looking, you wanna get a PC, but you know you want it to sort of sit at the office or something like that. You don't want some bloody friggin' like RGB sort of thing. This is perfect for that. So. Yes, yeah, I already responded to that one. What's the second comment there?
Daniel says, I reckon this looks great. It's a beast.
I think I've been calling Daniel David.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm so sorry, dude. My eyes are just shit at reading the screen from halfway across the room. Don't mind that. I'm much better with Christine reading stuff to me than me trying to read it.
I'm sorry.
It's alright. Yeah. But yes, I really like it, and if you don't like the glass panel at all, you can get it without the glass panel. It comes with a an aluminium panel there as well. So if you like the look of it at the front, don't really like the glass, don't want any of that, yeah, that's another option there as well. So I mean, like, I would probably just recommend going the glass one, because they're like the same price. But if for whatever reason you didn't want the glass, but you liked the design and aesthetic of this case, there is an option there with no glass. So it comes with the 3 pre-installed fans in the front there. You can fit a 360mm all-in-one liquid cooler radiator up top there. I recommend just installing a 360 up top. Don't worry about any extra fans. Then you'll have 3 pulling cool air into the case and 3 on the radiator pushing heat out the top. What's up?
Ladios says, hey everyone, this is beautiful build too.
Hey Ladios, good to have you with us. Yeah, this one's really nice. I'm gonna get Christine to do some,
I actually love it.
take some photos of it and stuff. It looks great.
Josh says, I actually love it. It looks good.
You'll be really happy with it, dude. Trust me. Trust me. I'd be super stoked with it for myself. But yes. Happy days. Look, unfortunately I can't properly finish off tonight with the stress test that I'd normally do, just because Windows Store is down. Now I can download Cinebench R23 like as a standalone and stuff like that. I can go and find that, like not from the Microsoft Store, but I'm not going to bother. I normally make sure that all of the apps in the Microsoft Store are updated and stuff when I set up the computer. So I'll come and check that out tomorrow. If it's still down tomorrow and I can't get it to work tomorrow, then I'll just run a standalone version of R23 and do the stress test another way without the Microsoft Store if I have to. But knowing Microsoft, it's probably just going to be down like tonight, and tomorrow it'll be up and running again. So no dramas there. Alrighty, well, thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you all in the next video.